You tell a lovely story in some of your reminiscences about the Martin family acquiring a piano.
Well, you see, those days we hadn't got no wireless. Wireless just came in at that time, but before wireless came, in my young days, people who could afford it had a wind-up gramophone, like the old His Master's Voice type.
Oh, yeah.
My old grandmother had one of those. She lived up top of the village in the rectory cottages. She used to bring it down to Woodhouse as a Christmas treat for us to enjoy her records. Well, then, about 1930s, the wireless was invented, so that was our next step up. But if you could afford it, the most pleasant thing were that if you could own a piano and the neighbours could hear it, so that's my mother scraped and saved. She got us a piano, and I know it was £32, a new piano from Miller's. And I couldn't play it, but she used to let my cousin and his friend used to come over on a Sunday, and he could play the piano. So we also had good entertainment on a Sunday afternoon, and Mother always wanted the door open to let all the neighbours know we'd got a piano.
The piano was the equivalent of the one-upmanship in those days.
Oh yes, that was a grade up if you got one of those. Yes.
Sid, do you remember any of the music that you played in those days?
Well, all the old-time music,
yes.
you know. It's all the old ones, like they used to say, pack up your troubles in your old kit bag, and all those first war songs.
Were you allowed to sing along with the piano on Sunday afternoon?
No, I'm afraid I was always a shy boy. I could never sing or talk out in public, but we was made to go every family in the village, and if they had children, if they had to either go to church or chapel. You had to go whether you wanted to or not. So therefore, you was brought up to be church people or chapel people, whichever your family decided.
Yes. And which one did you go to?
We was all church people, but that was a status to do, was to be in the choir.
Right.
You was made to go, not like the other day, you was made to do what your parents
question.
Yes.
No choice.
I was about 18. I saved up, and don't forget we was only earning £1.50 a week, but I saved up. My mother helped a great lot. She wouldn't take very much money from us, only bare necessities. She let us try to save. And I bought a new cycle from Alfred's for 5 guineas, a 3-speed cycle. Yeah.
It was a big day then, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then, as I get older, when I got to 20, I saved up out of my meagre wage until I got enough money, £30, to buy a 2-stroke Villiers engine Excelsior motorcycle. The Ingle family, when I started working for Mr. Arthur Frowick, who lived in Fiber's Farm, he imported the Ingle family to Dry Drayton, and they came and lived in Proctor's farm, at farmhouse. That family there was the father and 4 sons all worked for Mr. Arthur Frowick, and 1 daughter also did for a time. And the Ingle family was a very social, musical family. They hadn't got a village hall at that time, and I remember Ern Ingle borrowing a horse and cart, going around the village, collecting chairs from various households to give a whist drive in the school. And the school, I don't know whether it is today, but it had 2 partitions, so it made one big room if they was closed. Mr. Arthur Frowick, he was a big farmer. He was like more or less the squire of the village, and he farmed all the land right down to Lulworth Corner, and which covered all Bar Hill. Yes. And in the 1920s, he gave a piece of land, and they got this old hut from some distance away and got it up to the village, and the Ingle brothers, they put this hut, which was the first village hall, on that site, what's on today.
What do you think were the biggest changes that you saw in the village?
Well, the biggest changes is that in those days, families kept in the village more and was closely knit. Quite a different social life than today. I mean, all families chatted with each other and borrowed sugar and all that sort of thing. Totally so different what it is today. You find in most villages there's 2 or 3 dominant families who lived there hundreds of years back. And Huddlestones and Impis was the 2 in Dry Drayton.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's still some of them there now?
Oh yes, there's still some there.
Yes.